with everyone dressing up as Harley Quinn for Halloween this year, I'm going to show you a step-by-step guide on how I created this look. Starting out with the hair, just do a nice center parting, keep some hair forward at the front, and put the bunchies up in super high ponytails. That's the best way to start. Next, you're going to want to draw out the pudding choker that she wears. I just use an eyebrow pencil just to kind of get the outline of exactly where I want each of the letters to go. The next thing I did was jump in with just a simple plain white base. You can use anything for this, so like a white foundation or a white grease paint, anything like that. Get the base down, get it nice and even. I didn't want it to be too heavy and white, so I've done quite a light base, and then I've moved the colour around a lot and then set it with just a loose translucent or even a white setting powder on top of that. Now I went in and coloured some of the hair, so I used some airbrush paints that I just ran through my airbrush. These are water-based, so they do wash out. I also wanted to add a bit more colour because the airbrush was kind of missing it, so I just went in with a brush and added some more. Then went on this side and did some blue. Careful when you're doing this, make sure you don't actually spray your face, which is what I did in this video. And then also add a little bit of pink and blue to those front pieces that you've got. I wanted to give a bit more depth to my white colour, so I added in some white airbrush paint into the airbrush as well. Next I went in with a super thin brush and just outlined that choker. So I've used a black paint here with, as you can see, the pudding's been written through. This is quite a little bit trickier. I take your time with this, go slow, make sure you've kind of got the letters in the right place. I think I started mine a bit too far over at one point. And then I went and added in with a little bit more colour, so I think I've added in some sort of reds and golds just to kind of add some different highlights and differentiation. Add some definition to the brows, and then going in with some black eyeliner and black colour, just sort of smudge around the eyes. I wanted this look to be really grungy and dirty version of Harley Quinn, so everything is a bit messy, which is also fun and makes it quicker, to be honest. Using some black eyeshadow, I sort of went in and gave my nose a bit more of a contour. I wanted a bit of a prettier, skinnier nose. And then going in with some pink. So obviously each side of her face has pink and blue. So this is just working on the pink side of the face. I've done the eyeshadow, and I wanted to do, again, this grungy look. So I've pulled the colour right down over the cheeks and kind of dragged it across. So I kind of wanted to create that kind of dirty crying look as well. So this is going to create the colour that I need underneath. Bit more contouring. Again, I'm just using like dark eyeshadow colours for this, like a black eyeshadow colour. Get some contour in around the bottom of the cheeks, the neck, around the hairline. Again, this is all kind of pulling into this like grungy look that I'm going for. Again, a little bit around the collarbones and the neck. What I want to do here is just add up different layers. Oh, and this is where I've gone in and added some definition around the choker. So if you have a look there, if you kind of add the shading around the choker, it kind of gives that 3D definition that the choker is actually a real choker and not painted on. Adding some more colour. I think what I'm doing is I'm going over with some pink and blue eyeshadow over the top of the colour that I had on underneath to give it more definition. Going over black on top of that colour, again making it super smudgy. Going again in with the black eyeshadow for a bit more contour, black eyeliner, and then using a super thin eyebrow pen here, I'm just going to add in some of those tattoos that she's got. So again, I completely just freehanded this. You can buy tattoo transfers of these if you're struggling to kind of get the look of it right, but I just went in with a super thin eyeline pen and wrote rotten across my face. As you can see there, just adding a bit more onto the lips, and again I wanted it to look more really smudgy, so I've smudged the lips across where it looks like she's had her lipstick smudged. So these are kind of final touches. This is where I like to add definition in. So I get a wet cotton bud, careful not to put in your eye like I did just there, even with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol in it if you want to as well, and I drag the colour down. This gives a kind of crying, dirty look, and because you've added loads of layers of colour on top, it basically creates dimension in the face, which I love doing. I do it on loads of my looks. And that's about it, guys. Just a few more finishing touches at the end. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. As you can see, it's really easy to do once you know how. It's all about building layers and texture. Please tag me in any looks that you create. I'd love to see if anyone gives this look a go. And happy spooky season. I'll see you on the next one.